Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we did not expect to do two back-to-back Star Wars videos.
I'm so tired of Star Wars.
But the Star Wars news is flowing freely this week because of the Rise of Skywalker. Everybody's talking about it, and this is really interesting. We said before that we are Disney stockholders, right?
Yeah.
So we do check the Motley Fool. We do.
I have to go get my bun solo. I need something to hug. I need to hug something cute right now. I just can't take Star Wars anymore unless I hug something cute when I do it.
Okay, Geeky is holding tightly onto Bun Solo because we're in for a rocky ride. This is the Motley Fool, an investment site. They have hot takes on different stocks and businesses and whatever, and they're saying, and they've actually been Star Wars defenders, Disney defenders.
Right, many times. They usually do defend Disney.
They've turned on Star Wars too. They're turning on Star Wars. They basically said that Disney's Star Wars acquisition has basically been a failure. It might work in the long term, but for now, Disney has screwed up Star Wars.
That's right. Hey, do you remember, because we're not considered news, according to some people, when you and the Motley Fool were the ones that the news network in Orlando interviewed about the upcoming Universal, what your thoughts on it were?
Yeah.
When it was you and the Motley Fool they talked to?
Just two sites, me and the Motley Fool.
Yeah, but you're not newsworthy. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, and that was about Universal too. It wasn't even about Disney. So we're going to talk about that in this video. The Disney Star Wars acquisition has been a failure. Even investment site Motley Fool is calling it out. They're all calling it out now because it's safe.
We're the haters, they're not.
It's safe to hate on Star Wars now because Disney themselves and J.J. Abrams and the stars and Star Wars are basically saying that, yeah, The Last Jedi was a shit show. I think they're bracing themselves for a lukewarm reception without Luke to The Rise of Skywalker. That's Bun Solo. Geeky made him at Build-A-Bear.
There's a video.
So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're at 83,000-ish subs.
Yay!
Hoping for 100,000 soon. That is our crusade.
Time to celebrate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The six-figure club. We're hoping to get there. So, all right, this is coming from Keith Noonan. Keith Noonan at Motley Fool. Disney's Star Wars franchise is on shaky ground.
Agreed.
The Mandalorian is a clear hit and a marquee title on Disney Plus, and the anticipation for Obi-Wan on the streaming service suggests there is plenty of life in the property.
Agree.
I'm actually looking forward to Obi-Wan.
Agree.
Notable and frequent failures for the franchise have been piling up. Notable and frequent failures. And the pool of the galaxy far, far away appears much weaker than it did just a few years ago.
100% agree.
Company's theme park push for Star Wars has been a disappointment.
Yep.
And the franchise's
Hater.
And the franchise's next steps on the big screen are unclear amid signs of waning interest and a surprising string of project cancellations.
I agree. Everything in this article, pretty much I agree with.
Outside of adding a big asset to Disney's streaming platform, it's fair to say that the franchise has been underperforming. Star Wars is a failure. The fall of the House of Skywalker. Look, I don't think you guys quite understand how big it is for the Motley Fool to come out and basically be like,
it's a big deal.
Star Wars is screwed.
Google Trends analysis shows the overall search interest in the Star Wars has tended downward since The Force Awakens as a search topic, and they said the Rise of Skywalker seems to be lower than previous entries. They also talked about the outpacing ticket sales, and then they said subsequent tracking suggests that it might have a lowest opening of the new mainline sequel trilogy.
It will absolutely have the lowest opening.
And I think it's the most expensive one too.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. Plus, they had to reshoot a bunch. But they said hype may not always quantify. They said marketing presence for the film has been shockingly light. Online
I don't
engagement.
agree with that.
Well, recently,
I think marketing has not been shockingly light because they're doing all these ridiculous tie-ins.
Yeah, this week. Well,
not just this week, but I mean, like they did the United and the GE and the, Facebook and,
it almost feels like, but a lot of it is very last minute. It almost feels to me like they basically, once they had their year end, they're like, oh God, Star Wars is in a really bad place. Hurry up, guys. Just throw a bucket, spray and pray. Whatever we can slap BB-8 on, do it. Because we got to get people interested in this franchise again.
They talked down here too about The Last Jedi having an audience approval of 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, etc., etc. Last Jedi did not do Disney any favors. I mean, you had them with Force Awakens. I mean, you could have kept them, and then you brought this out. So.
Yeah, well, here they're beating the drum again that a lot of these sites that have been defending The Last Jedi are shrieking about right now. They're like, the franchise is prequel trilogy attracted no shortage of criticism. That's true, but it didn't kill Star Wars. The prequels did not kill Star Wars. People were disappointed, but it didn't kill Star Wars. Recent entries in the franchise appear to have alienated many hardcore fans with their treatment of classic characters. The Last Jedi has an audience approval score. And criticism of the film from series leads, including Mark Hamill and John Boyega, suggests the picture was controversial, even in the internal world of Lucasfilm.
Hey, we know a lot of people in Hollywood, and I gotta tell you, I've heard from several people that they don't say anything because it's better not to say anything because they don't want to have the backlash of Disney. But it is not well respected in Hollywood. This film, a lot of people did not like this film in Hollywood.
We have people coming to us all the time, even at Lucasfilm and Disney. There are people who are like, "This is a shit movie." Why? How the hell, like, when you're working on this, what was Kathleen Kennedy doing that she just let Rian Johnson do whatever the hell he wanted to do? Mm-hmm. You don't let a relatively new independent filmmaker who gets off on making the audience,
who brags about a subversion all the time.
Yeah, he's a troll. He's a troll. He used millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of Disney's money to troll the fans. That's what this whole thing was. He was trolling the fans, and he continues to troll the fans. Hell, he even was trolling YouTubers.
Well, they talk about Kneon roadmap, is what they're saying there too.
Yeah, that's the biggest complaint people have about the sequel trilogy. Like, we had pictures of everybody sitting down and talking. Remember the meetings where they had Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford at the beginning of this thing? They're all sitting down talking. There was no plan. Mm-hmm. There was clearly no plan. And they've proven it time and time again. Palpatine wasn't supposed to come back in.
I like the statement here. Star Wars fatigue has sometimes been used as a reason the franchise lost steam. We keep hearing it over and over again. But the cause of the fatigue is often left unaddressed. And this imprecise three-word explanation doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense in the current film industry climate. 100% agree. Man, this guy, he gets a clap from me.
He gets a clap.
This is everything we've been saying.
Yeah, because they're talking about how the Marvel films, there wasn't Marvel fatigue, and they would do 3 or 4 Marvel movies in a year.
Exactly. And we brought that up many times.
It's because the movies suck. They suck.
Yeah, it sucked. I'm sorry, but that's what's going on.
But there was no roadmap. Marvel, they knew exactly where they're going.
This is everything we've been saying since the beginning.
Oh my God, how dare he? How very dare he? Merchandise sales have softened and Galaxy's Edge is underperforming.
You hater! Now people are going to impersonate you and go harass you on Twitter because you don't agree.
Oh my God, sales and profits for the company's consumer products segment fell in 2017 and 2018. Declines for Star Wars merchandise were a key factor in the slide both years. Actually, Hasbro threw Disney Star Wars under the bus and said they had so much unsold merchandise. I mean, Toys R Us going out was part of it, but there was so much. You can still find Force Awakens stuff in the clearance aisles of discount stores. Ollie's. They got tons of Force Awakens stuff.
Lots of Solo stuff too.
Tons of Solo stuff. Nobody wants this shit. And look at the Rise of Skywalker. You'd think the last Star Wars movie, for now, would have this big marketing push. You'd have massive play sets, and like you could have a big Death Star play set and AT-ATs and Falcons. There's no Falcon toy. There's no Walker. There's nothing.
One of the brilliant brain trust moves they did before the Falcon toy was make it that Han couldn't even stand up in it.
Oh my God, the nap time Falcon play set where Han had to lay down to pilot it. Yeah, that was great. That was great. So Star Wars big theme park push has been disappointing.
Yep, which we've said. How dare we?
How very dare we? Despite the introduction of Galaxy's Edge, Disney actually saw ticket sales at its parks and resorts fall in its third quarter. Visibility on parks traffic was less cut and dry in the fourth quarter, but management's comments suggest that attendance was flat.
Well, they're really pushing for this, I gotta tell you guys, for next year. The hotel rates in Disney resorts, especially like in February, you're counting up with these ridiculously low rates for rooms.
$59?
And $60 for like the value resorts, which have recently gone up to well over $100 a night when they used to be like $80 on average. They're desperately trying to get whatever butts they can get into the parks.
God. So Galaxy's Edge can be turned into a success. Yeah, retheme it for the original trilogy.
Well, not just that. I think now they have the Rise of the Resistance open, they could bank that more.
If it stays up.
It was really dumb to open the area without both rides. That was colossally bad move there.
Yeah, if it stays running and doesn't keep breaking down, right? But much like the film franchises, there are reasons to be disappointed with the execution. Galaxy's Edge experience primarily centers around characters and locations from the new sequel trilogy, a move that in hindsight may be cast as a mistake. Yes. It makes sense that Disney would want to create synergies with the newer movies.
Yeah,
but
see,
the company,
they always use that word synergies. It's like their new word. That's why I keep saying it.
Does this guy watch us? Maybe this guy
I don't know.
watches us.
I don't know, but he's right.
He is right. It makes sense that Disney would want to create synergy, but the company had a wealth of beloved characters and locales from earlier
It looks
films.
like they were working on those locales at first, and they changed it.
Yep, its chosen approach looks more suspect in light of signs that interest in the sequel trilogy's world characters has diminished. But the way they built Galaxy's Edge, they could very easily retheme it original trilogy.
Yeah, they can. Well, I think it was originally trilogy, and they rethemed it.
I mean, we got Docking Bay 94 in the Cantina, and we basically have Endor.
He agrees.
He agrees. A smart acquisition, but execution has been lackluster. Describing Disney's Star Wars acquisition as a failure would probably be putting it in terms that are too stark. But execution on the franchise in the days following the success of The Force Awakens and Rogue One has a lot left to be desired. If it weren't for The Mandalorian, the strong reception and the value that the broader property has added to the streaming service, missteps with the film series, declining merchandise sales, and weak performance for Galaxy's Edge would be a lot more concerning. Disney Star Wars will likely still prove to be smart in the long run. However, there are clear instances where the company has come up short with the property and missed what seemed like relatively sure bets, and that list has grown at a concerning rate.
Right. Hey, and you guys should click this link and make sure you go visit the site's article to show these sites that this is the kind of article you want to see.
Yeah, but this is huge coming from Motley Fool. I mean, they're flat out like, they're saying, look, Disney stock is up. Like, Disney's doing okay.
I don't think Disney's going to... I think it's going to go down next year because...
They won't have the tent poles.
They're not going to have the tent poles. Also, Disney Plus, a lot of the big things... You're going to get a couple next year, but a lot of the big things for Disney Plus aren't going to be to the year after.
Yeah.
And then the year... 2021, it's going to go through the roof because they have a lot of big things coming in 2021. The park, 50th anniversary in 2021 for Walt Disney World. There's a lot of things coming in 2021, so I think their stocks are going to go back up, but next year I'm expecting a dip.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting, though. I have to wonder... I mean, it all depends on how the Rise of Skywalker does, I guess. But I have to wonder if 10 or 20 years from now, they're going to be teaching what not to do when you acquire an IP, and they're going to point to Star Wars. Kind of like how marketing classes now look at the Arch Deluxe from McDonald's and New Coke as being missteps.
Right.
And you even to this day, you have New Coke defenders coming out being like, New Coke wasn't a failure, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be the same with Star Wars. 10 or 20 years from now, people are going to be like, remember when Disney bought Star Wars and they didn't know what the fuck they were doing? And they drove it into the ground in the course of like 5 years?
Yep.
Don't do that. Don't do that. So I think they can pull out the tailspin. Obviously, Star Wars still has commercial value, but they're going to have to really step it up. And I think all the backpedaling this week with The Last Jedi is their attempt to try to course correct.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think, Bun Solo? Yeah, what he said.
Exactly.
What he said. What he said.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants. I'm sure there's going to be more Star Wars videos this week.
Yep.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.